Hi, my name is Irfan Setin, and this video is a midterm review of a play of the Drama 9 class at Butte College. And the professor is Kevin Master. And the play I chose for midterm review is Yours Unfaithfully, and the writer is Miles Mallison. And the play I watched was the premiere at Mint Theater in New York. And I want to start by reading uh, a review at New York Times by Alexis Solosky. I'll just read a short part of it, and then I'm gonna talk about my own thoughts about the play. Anne has the perfect cure for her husband's writer's block. Not a change of scene, not a change of topic, but a sexual adventure. Go and get into mischief, she tells him. Any sort of mischief. I shouldn't mind what you do, as long as you get happy again and start working. Yours Unfaithfully, Miles Mallison's 1933 play, now receiving its world premiere at the Mint Theater, is a refined, rueful, and often shrewd comedy about polyamory, written decades before open relationships were quite so openly discussed. In some ways, it's surprising that it went unproduced for so long. Its subject is no more scandalous than those of several plays by George Bernard Shaw or Harley Granville Barker, another Mint favorite. But the shock of its content, the gentility of its form, and its strong links to Mr. Mallison's own life must have made it a chancy undertaking. Stephen Max von Essen, a recent Tony nominee for An American in Paris, is a writer perhaps too interested in questions of virtue and vice, and Anne, Elizabeth Grey, is his elegant, broad-minded wife with whom he runs a progressive school. They have been married 8 years and have two children. The almost total absence of these children, even in conversation, is one of the play's peculiarities. When Anne sees Stephen mired in marital and intellectual doldrums, she encourages him to have an affair with their beautiful friend Diana, Michaela Izquierdo. Stephen is persuaded, Diana is willing, and everything is just dandy until it isn't. So I want to switch to my own thoughts from this point, and so I took some notes. So I some my notes are gonna be about in two sections. One is the good things about the play, and some I don't want to say bad things, but some lacking things about the play. And I want to talk about some mm, technical things. First of all, let's start with good things. Costumes are awesome. You gotta watch this play, and you're gonna see that the costumes are beautiful. You really go into those years. And set design, again, it's superior. Lights, again, it's superior. Sound effects, the play is in three acts, and in first two acts they are at their um, country house, and you can hear the birds in their garden and the cars coming, and it makes it really realistic. In many perspectives, uh, it's very realistic. The way that the Mint Theater put on stage is um elegantly realistic. And then, but there are some disadvantages. I think they used a lot of microphones, and this has some, for me, some handicaps. You hear almost everything that's going on the stage, like uh, the squeaky of the floor, uh, when they hold the arms of the armchair. You hear everything, and this feels like the sound, the noise from their costumes, everything, and it's after a while it's kind of just uh, I didn't like it because this gives you the feeling that hey, there are lots of microphones. Where are those microphones? You start looking around. Hey, where is that microphone? Because it's not. You don't hear a natural thing. You hear everything, which doesn't seem natural to me. Uh, the wife, and she talks a lot, especially at the first act. She talks and talks and talks a lot. I think the writer uses Anne to set the scene, to talk about the past, what has happened up to that moment. But it's it's after a while, it's kind of boring for me. Again, it's this is my personal point of view. And when she talks, others just uh, have to listen. Just listen. Others just listen. They can't do anything. They don't. They shouldn't be doing some extra movements because she talks about really important things. Just too many of them, and the others are just like statues. They're listening to her. And then Alan, in the first act, he enters with a very low energy. Maybe it's because Anne is kind of important at the beginning of Act 1, but through the end of Act 1, of course, uh, we see a dialogue with Stefan and uh, the lady Diana, and then things start to elevate. Act 2. Anne talks a lot, still talks a lot, and talks about what has happened in the last 2 months. And then Alan asks questions. Alan is also their friend. I forgot to say that. Alan is their friend, and he's a friend of both of them, but he mostly interacts with Anne. Uh, and then what else? Act 3. Again, I'm talking about some handicaps of the play. Still, Anne talks about what has happened. In Act 3, we see them in their city room. Now they're back to London. The first two acts is in their country house. Act 3 is in their city flat or city apartment. I don't know. And then this may be something funny, but the tablecloth was so wrinkled, and I was like, "Hey, set designer, why?" Because these are these people are upper middle class, and he's a writer, she's a teacher, and then their friend is their their friends are important people like doctors or whatever, and so they're not poor, not at all. They are rich, and and So let's talk about something positive this time. Diana, she's a perfect fit for this role, and she starts having an affair with a with this guy, Stefan. In fact, this family is their friend, uh, both of them, husband and wife. They are both her friends, and she starts having an affair with Stefan. And as I said, Act 1 starts boring but ends good, interesting. So you want to keep watching what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen. And then there's an Anne and Diana scene in Act 2, and Diana is not okay with the situation, and she's worried about what Anne is thinking about the situation, and they have a dialogue. By the way, this whole play is mostly set on dialogues. We see rarely there are three or four people on on the stage. So the main there are five people. Stefan and Anne, the married couple, Alan and Diana, their friends, and Mr. Cannon, uh, Stefan's father, and he's a man of religion. He's a pastor. Uh, in Act Two, we see this father preaching uh, Stefan about, hey, you, what you are doing is not right. And it's a real nice dialogue because he states that here I'm not talking to you as a man of religion. I'm your father, and forget about religion. What you are doing is not right. You have a wife, she loves you, and you are ruining your marriage, and you make her sad. You don't have the rights to do this. And he's like, well, she said she was okay, and I think she's okay. But eventually, it's not. So, Anne is not happy with the situation, and then in Act Three, uh, we see that so Stefan cannot stop this affair, and he goes to Paris with Diana. And at some point, Anne decides that this is how I understand. She talks to Alan that a guy wants to take her out for dinner, and we see that she puts her nightgown into her uh, bag, and she says that I'm gonna stay out. I'm gonna stay with that guy's at that guy's house. And Stefan comes home. She's not at home. He sees Ellen. He talks to Ellen. Ellen says that Anne will not come back tonight, and she's gonna stay at that guy's house. And that is the moment that uh, start things change for Stefan. He doesn't sleep that night. He goes out, walks around, comes back, and tries to sleep at the the armchair. And then Anne comes in the morning, and we understand that she stayed with the other guy. Anyway, the name of the so she leaves a note when Alan and Stefan talks. Stefan doesn't want to believe that Anne will not come back that night, and Alan says that she left a note for you, and like a letter. And Stefan reads the note, and we can see uh, how his face changes, and he says that, and there's this uh, polite ending, or this ending in letters saying that yours faithfully, and but this time Anne finished the letter by saying yours unfaithfully. This was a turning point for Stefan. When so in the morning when Anne comes back, they have a talk. He uh, he says that for the first time I'm jealous, and now I understand how much I hurt you, and I'm sorry. And she says, okay, but things have changed for me. I'll have my part now. It's my turn. And then so what I found interesting about the play is it was written in 1933, and it's quite avant-garde, or let's say it's quite a revolutionary play for those years, I believe. And as I read, it's nobody put this play on stage for decades. It's not easy uh, that this open marriage things, and in the end, the wife this time says, "Hey, okay, uh, I have my own life then." So anyway, it was an interesting play. Uh, I, if you want, you can watch it online. It's free, and so that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching.